Hi and welcome to the Lock-In podcast. My name's Conor Winnicott. I work for the hosting company based in Carlow, Ireland. That's Black Knight. But we don't talk about Black Knight so much here, except that a lot of the people we end up talking to are friends of the family. And that's the case with my guest on the show today. Incidentally, by the way, forgive my background. We're remodeling the office here at home at the moment. I'll tell you all about that another time. My guest today is Robert Grace. Who is the man who had a big hit single this year with a song called Fake Fine. Robert, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And Robert, you're a friend of the family. You're a cousin of one of our founders at Black Knight, Paul Kelly, isn't that right?
Yeah. We lived next to him for years.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
And Paul was telling me that you're from a musical family. The whole family sings, your dad and everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying, like, my dad has been in a band for as long as I can remember, and my mum can sing as well and play the keyboard. My sister can sing, play guitar and keyboard. My brother, it's the whole lot of us are musical, so it was easy to kind of get into when I was small.
And when did you decide that you were going to become a professional musician?
When I was about 17, I think I kind of decided that it was something I wanted to do full time properly. And yeah, it was like a hard road to get where I am now.
That's the thing, because it's difficult to make your way. It's difficult to make your name and stuff like that. How long have you been? How old are you now? Do you mind me asking?
I'm 27.
27. So 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, 10 years for one song to come along and change everything.
And is that it? I mean, have you always been writing songs or doing covers, or is songwriting something you did right from the start?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the main thing I used to do for a long time was write for, I did obviously have my own project going on and wrote songs for myself and released them, but I never gave it 100%, I suppose. I was mainly kind of writing with and for other people and producing with and for other people as well. And then it was just kind of, I mean, I released this song. I mean, I was hoping to try and land a publishing deal this year, which is like, for a songwriter, that's what you get, and I was hoping to try and get one of those, and then all of a smack, we got offered a record deal, so it was crazy, and I wasn't going to turn it down by any means.
Tell me a bit about the song, Robert, Fake Fine. A lot of people will have heard it. It sounds like it was written for the pandemic. Pandemic is right in there, and obviously it deals with themes of depression and mental health and that as well. It seems like you wrote a song for the age we live in, Robert, but you actually started writing it before coronavirus came our way.
Yeah, we still knew it was kind of happening. I never thought it was going to be as bad as it was going to be, but it was just I wrote the first verse basically in January, it was February when I ended up writing it, because I just had a bad start to the year between, my grandmother passed away, and just, I was absolutely broke. A lot of other things as well, like I just mentally wasn't sure how to feel. I didn't know if I should keep doing music. I didn't have any money, so I was like, should I try and do something else? And I didn't want to let anyone down. I think the biggest reason I didn't stop is because I didn't want to disappoint anyone else. It's nothing to do with me at all. I was like, I didn't want to disappoint my manager. I didn't want to disappoint, my wife or my father or my mother, brother or sister, so a lot of what kept me going was just I didn't want to disappoint or let down anyone, so, which thankfully it ended up working out. But yeah, I was having a hard time and just sat down one day and recorded the first verse on a ukulele, and I still have the recording on my phone of just randomly singing it upstairs in my old house.
Yeah. It's a really, really strong song. Did that build up over time, or did it all come out at once?
I wrote the first verse in February, and then I finished it off the week we went into lockdown. So just before we found out we were going into lockdown, finished it that week. I finished it with one of a friend of mine wrote the second verse. His name is Ryan Mack. He's another kind of artist guy in Ireland. He's doing pretty well. But me and him together, both for the last maybe two or 3 years, probably have written together. So he helped me finish off the song, and yeah. And then I mean, it's weird. I really thought I had a really good feeling about it from the moment it was finished. I was like, I couldn't stop listening to it. I mean, I'm like that a lot with my own songs, but like this one, like I had listened to it 200 times before I had even sent it to anyone, you know. So and then you just don't know. I mean, I had a good feeling, but you just never know. You know what I mean? I always doubt myself, but I was just delighted it worked out.
And it has worked out. I mean, what has been the result of the song? It seems to have caught on straight away anyway, and got a lot of airplay. You've got a fantastic video for it, I should say, as well. Is that I know I interviewed Emma Langford on this show a while back, and she was saying to me on the subject of songs and videos, she said she always has a video, she always has pictures in mind. Now, she collaborated with other producers, and the video ended up being quite different from what she had in mind when she wrote the song. But when you're songwriting like that, do you think of pictures? Do you have a video concept in mind at least?
I do when the song is done. That's when I start. Like usually when I'm making a song, I'm focused literally on just audio. I don't have the mental capacity to kind of focus on two things at once. So I'm literally all about the song and production. And once it's kind of done, when I'm listening to it, I'll start to kind of picture what I think would be cool, and then what's cool and what's possible sometimes are two different things. So. But for Fake Fine, like for that music video, I had the initial idea. My idea was like, you know, this guy is really sad and his parents are sick of him being sad. And so they find out that there's this place where you can send sad people and it makes them happy, like a quick fix, like overnight. That was what I kind of had.
Yeah.
First, initial idea, you go to this place and like the whole thing was like when you go there, they pretend to your parents like they're going to fix it. And then once you get in, they tell you basically, no, it's just a show, and they teach you how to pretend to be okay. That was my idea. But then it just kind of developed into, because we gave it to this company, Lost Studios. They produced it. And yeah, they just kind of developed the idea into what it was. And I think what it ended up turning out like was way better. I think it was a bit darker and it had a bit more meaning to it. You know what I mean? Mine was too funny. You know what I mean? Mine was kind of taking the piss a small bit. But I think the way it turned out was perfect.
And when did the idea for the masks come in? Because I know that masks weren't a thing we were talking about early on in coronavirus times and lockdown, but they became really over the summer. They became a really strong feature. And then the whole image, the whole metaphor of the mask of putting on a fake smile and hiding what's really going on, that is just amazing, Robert.
Yeah, it was. To be honest, it was just like we had to wear masks, so we kind of just took advantage of that and made it into turned it into a part, like a prop for the video. Which it ended up working out perfectly because it suited everything to do with the song, like the whole thing about like you could be completely miserable but it's just a fake smile, and it's the whole thing Fake Fine, you know. It really worked out well.
And tell us how well it's worked out, Robert. You've got a record deal.
Yeah, signed to a JV, a joint venture between Columbia Germany and RCA US, it's crazy, great. Really, we managed to get a really good deal, and have a really great team behind us. And I mean, it's mad. It's just like I've been so busy, I suppose, since everything happened that I still haven't had time to kind of properly let everything kind of sink in and like realize what's after happening. And I think with everything going on, you can't really celebrate, you know. I mean, that in the way that like Irish people usually celebrate, you know, it's hard to like go out and like with everyone and, you know, have drinks. And I mean, I know you can kind of do it now, but like it's not the same, you know what I mean? So it still hasn't sunk in. I don't know when it'll sink in, to be honest.
What's been the response from the community, from your friends, neighbours, family?
I mean, it's been really, really good, to be fair. I mean, sometimes you'd be thinking, I don't know if it's just an Irish thing. Sometimes when someone succeeds, you're nearly like, ah, that lad thinks he's great now, or something like that. But in fairness, it's been really good. Everyone has been super, super nice to me. I mean, like I I was expecting to get more hate. To be fair, I was expecting more people to despise me because of the success, But in fairness, well, it could still be the case, but they haven't said it to my face, so I'll accept it that it's all good.
As I can see, you're sitting there in your own recording studio, Robert. You would be very much somebody who works in production, who works on songwriting and studio craft, if you like. So, what are you doing now? Let me put it that way. Are there more songs coming? Is it part of? Obviously, that kind of work is work you can do from home.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. I mean, it hasn't slowed me down. I'm doing a lot of Zoom sessions, like writing sessions and stuff like that. And the handiness of me having a studio means I can record my bits, send them on to someone else, and they can do what they want. And yeah, and I'm just busy, and I'm working on. Basically, I'm going to have an album out at some point. I mean, it could be the end of next year, it could be the start of 2021. It all depends on how everything goes, because we want to give it the best push. So we'll see how the world is at that point. But yeah, and new music coming early next year as well.
And has the success of Fake Fine and the record deal, has that opened new doors for you in terms of collaborators and people you want to work with and things like that?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it just gives you that extra bit of if you go to someone with a record label behind you, they're more likely to take you seriously, and they're more likely to do it because it benefits them, and that's all it's about. I mean, no one's gonna, in this day and age, it's not a lot of people are going to just work with someone who doesn't have a good team behind them. You know what I mean? Because they're thinking of themselves, obviously, and it's like, well, is this going to benefit me? And if they're like, no, well, then they're not going to do it. But if there's a chance it could benefit them, they're going to do it. That's just the way it is. So it really does help having the weight of a record label behind you.
When did you say the album might be expected?
It could be the end of 2021. So, or wait, yeah, what's next year? 2021. Yeah, it could be the end of 2021, or it could be the start of 2022. It all depends on what the world is like at that point.
Fantastic. Well, I hope it's not all work and no play for you. And as you say, when you're working at something that you enjoy, it's not necessarily work, Robert. That's certainly true. I hope you get a bit of a chance to relax. You've got a young family.
Yes, yeah, a 3-year-old, and a new baby on the way in January.
Fantastic. Well, I hope Santi comes and everyone's on the nice list.
He's already after arriving, and just in advance, just in case there's delays.
Good. That's
Robert, it's a fantastic song. It's a fantastic video. I'm a fan. My kids are fans. My wife is a fan. We think you're doing a fantastic job. And again, thanks for taking my call. And it's great to have a good news and a success story to round off 2020. So fair play to you. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
That's Robert Grace. He's our guest on the show today. Apologies that we haven't been with you for over the last 2 or 3 weeks. As I said, renovations and remodelling work going on. One of the challenges of working from home. And in fact, next week on the show, we're going to be talking about remote work in particular with Sean Brady from a company called Cloud Assist. He's somebody that I interviewed on the Black Knight podcast before. thelockin.ie is our address. If you want to look us up, you'll find all the previous episodes of the show, and you can subscribe for the videos and the audio subscriptions on all of the podcast platforms as well. Good evening, good evening, Slán agus benacht.